Today, our topic is inspired by Robert Kiyosaki on how to get out of rat race. Okay, so number one, which is always the number one step, to set your own goal. Now, today, your rat race may not mean my rat race. My rat race may mean different thing to other people.
Definitely. Even two of us, I think our rat race is very different.
Rat race also can mean a lot of things. Like if you're in employment, for example, it could mean that you're always stuck in employment and you can't seem to get out of it. Another rat race is probably you are already earning passive income, but it doesn't seem to move along the way to the goal that you want to achieve. You're very stagnant, like what Yvonne says. That's why every single year, what you can do is you can reset your goals so that you will see whether your action will match up with the goal that you want to set. If your action plan and the real actions that you're taking is according to the goals that you have set to get out of the rat race, then you're on par. All right, so how to actually set the goals? Okay, so according to Robert Kiyosaki, right, always find out what you don't like first. It may sound a little bit negative, but it is only when you don't like something that you find out you like something. So an interesting fact is, a few months ago, I met up with a friend. She actually shared that she regretted for choosing a wrong job. She got stuck there for 2 years and end up, she said, I wasted my 2 years to finally know what I don't like. And now I think that I have wasted my 2 years' time to move on to a next job. Then I told her something. Did you realize that a wrong move is also a good move? If it wasn't for these 2 years that you didn't like the job so much, you wouldn't know what you like in real life. Exactly.
And you don't even know. And the thing is, you don't even know what you don't like. First thing about like first, if you don't come into this particular job that you don't like, but then you won't even know that you don't like this job actually.
So that's why on the second icon that you see here is what you really enjoy in your life, the meaningful goals rather than purely monetary. So for example, I don't like to cook. It can also mean that, I find a place to stay with a lot of nice food, that kind of goals. Or I find the other half who can cook really well. So can you see how the dislike can actually match up with your like? So actually, this one, a lot of people, they didn't like it, but I find it really very useful. Don't you think so, Yvonne?
I think it's pretty useful to eliminate your don't like first. Yeah. Like for example, I don't like to be having debts every month. That is your don't like. For example, I don't like to waste time and not doing anything after my 9 to 5. I just go back and binge watch drama. That's something that actually I don't like. Yeah, I just list it down the thing that you don't like. Yeah.
Like for me, I don't like to be very, very busy every single day. Then that's why I will find a way to delegate to people while earning the passive income.
More time to open up things that you like, to discover things that you like actually. Yeah.
After this, what are you going to do? Yeah, having listed them, right, it is still not visual enough. You got to even print it out. You got to even make it, if you can, into a real dream board. Yeah, because psychologically, if you make them physical and if you make them visible, like the first moment you see it when you wake up, or it is very, very obvious when you walk into your office, right? Then it's actually going to remind you time over time, oh, this is my dream board. I want to achieve it because I hate rat race. Not only that, setting your goal also means that if you want to lead a happy life together, right, always lead your goals and dreams to also your financial struggle, right? It doesn't only limit it to your life struggle, but it can be a financial struggle. Like, I hate it that I had to stay at home every single day, taking care of my children, and I have no income in. Your goal should always be aligned with solving the struggles that you really hate very much. Because if you eliminate all your struggles, that's when you will be happy. Okay, so the next thing is what a lot of people hate. Okay, but got to be straight on the face with all of you, which is to track your expenses. Whether it's your cash that you spend every single day, if you're still very old school, you're still using cash or credit card or your QR or your bank statements. Yeah, if you have yet to find out how to track your expenses, right, you can always copy the system from Japanese Kakebo, right? Or you can use the financial templates these days, in Excel. But I still find using the pen and paper and book works very well, for your memory. You remember it very well. But if you want convenience, you want to use Google Sheets so that every time you use your computer or you use your phone, you can actually straight away key in. You can always use a template, all right? So why would you want to track down your expenses also is because you need to know exactly what you pay for every single month. When you are jotting them down, that's when you know that what are your necessities and what are your non-necessities. Are they your needs? Are they your wants that is just for you to spend for your lifestyle? It may sound a little bit irrelevant to you if the amount is small, but again, do not estimate an amount that is small, right? Buying a
Hey,
clothes that is $100 every single month could also mean $100 savings.
there is something called in Malay, if you're not from Malaysia, so let me put this up. It's sikit-sikit jadi bukit. A little bit is a mountain. Even though this quote is for saving, like you save a little bit, that it become mountain, but it also can be your spending as well. Like you thought a little bit here, you spend a little bit there, a little bit here and there, then eventually it will pile up to a mountain as well, your spending. Same thing.
At least I know where it has gone to, and I will see whether I could actually reduce them. But if you don't even track your expenses, you don't even know where your money have gone into, how are you supposed to know which category to reduce? So one example that we had was during our financial intelligence challenge. One of the challenges actually said that he realized that he had been paying for his credit card subscription every single year that he doesn't use anymore. He has a few other banks that offer him credit card. That's when he said he decided to terminate the bank. There were also a few of our members who actually say that they were paying for subscription that they no longer use, only managed to find out after they track their expenses. You may be wondering why you need to actually track it out. Now, it is very important why you pay for it, right? Because like what Yvonne said just now, every single dollar count. Okay, because this will give you an idea as well on how much minimum expenses you have every single month that you cannot forgo for sure, and how much income you need to generate to get you out of the rat race. So if it means 5,000 for you every single month, that means, okay, you already know, okay, if I want to get out of rat race, I need to at least have passive income or a side hustle that can at least generate me that minimum of income before I can get out of it. Or in fact, I can maybe get a pay cut. Maybe I can move on to a 3,000 ringgit job, but it's a job that I love. Okay, it may not be a rewarding, but I have another side hustle that is giving me 2,000 every single month. I'm happy with it. So that also can be our rat race, yeah. Because our rat race doesn't mean that you don't work entirely, but it's about living the life that you want. Right now is the time for you to decrease your expenses. I am sure you will definitely find out something if this is your very first time tracking down your expenses. For me is I got a shock about the amount of facial product, makeup that I used to pay for. That's why there was, I think, close to 1 to 2 years that I hardly buy any cosmetics. Because even for the 2 years that I didn't buy, I could still throw away a lot of the things that were not used at all. Decluttering. So that was how spendthrift I was last time, and when I came into a realization, I really tried my expenses. That's why after that I realized that I don't need so much. I just need enough, just enough to get me moving. That's it. So what are the examples of things that people usually decreases? All right. The first is your bill. Sometimes you may not realize that utility bill actually take up quite a bit for a household. And second thing, if you have the time, for example, you really want to save on the cost going to restaurants because restaurant these days could be quite expensive. One meal, 20 over 30 over ringgit. So you may somehow realize that on the days that I can't make it, probably I will still take away. But on the days like weekends that I can afford to eat from home, that is when I will transform myself into a cook from home culture, right? It really happens to a lot of families in US, whereby in the reality show, they really show how living below the means for all these participants really help them to settle a lot of debts. But it also meant that they have someone to control their spending every single week. Like they only give you $100 every single week. You go and buy your own groceries within the means. Yeah, you can actually live up to that standard. Because by you tracking down and decreasing your expenses also mean that you are actually spending it consciously. Okay, so that's why everything stays on a budget. So in case you think that, okay, my current liabilities is really very huge, is the luxury right now still important to you? Like, I have a friend who actually sold off a luxurious car because she said, I'd rather buy a higher car like S70 or Mazda CX-5 right now that is higher to avoid the flood these days. I got a shock laughing, but some of what she said is true. In fact, she bought a higher car because she said, I don't need a expensive sports car right now, so I sell it off. So it's really very true. Like even though she's downgrading, but the downgrading part actually matches what she needs right now. Okay, and also phone. Do you really need a new phone every time a new series come out? would delaying gratification help you out a lot with the savings? Yeah, using the old technology doesn't seem to be a shame if you are able to save up the money to do a lot more things for yourself. All right, so let's go into it. So there's a saying: if you can't decrease your expenses, increase your
Increase
earnings.
your earnings. That is more.
This
This
is
is more
what we always
interesting.
been telling.
This is more exciting, more positive, more things to talk about.
This is very useful if you have a problem. Really, you think that, oh my god, the cost of living these is really so high that even though I do whatever that I can, the most that I can save every month is only probably like what, $100, $200, which cannot really do me any justice. I need to spend so much time to do savings. By increasing your earnings can also help you to get out of the rat race faster. Maybe probably 9 to 5 could only generate you 60 to 70% of the goal that you want to achieve. Another 30% you can actually leverage it by increasing your earnings. So how can you actually go ahead with this method? All right. So there are actually both ways. Traditionally, we all hope that okay, we could go into a very good corporate, we could climb up the career ladder, but sometimes career ladder could also mean that you could stay on in the same company for 20 years only to get the chance to get a position up. So does this work? Actually it works, but it takes time. But don't you agree that a lot of people, even though after they have reached the retirement age, they still work? So how many positions are there in the same company for you to climb? Yeah, so that is one. Second thing is climbing up the same ladder of the same company these days may not be so normal anymore because we are no longer hearing of people who really tell you, okay, I stay on with this company for 20 years.
Yeah, but I also known of a more people that's more mature in the corporate. They rather take on a very comfy position, I would say, earning an okay income, a five-figure income, but they take on a very comfy position and they go and do their own investment and go and do their side hustle. Then they go and do their own stuff. And outside stuff make them even richer. Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree because the company, even though they are not rewarding you that much, but they are giving you that sense of security that at least if any of the rest outside fail, I still have this one to pay for my bread and butter. I wouldn't be ultra rich, but at least
Exactly.
I do not need to worry about the food on the table. So the traditional way, right? Another perception to see is that actually you may not realize that if today you're working in probably a more rural company, your expertise you could be actually earning very very low income. But if you're able to maybe speak English, Mandarin, or even more international language, you could actually work with an international company and end up right convert your earning from the local currency into USD. So this actually happened to one of my clients. So many years ago when I first knew him, he is working in Malaysia but for a US company. Can you imagine that he's being paid USD? USD for remote working from home. Yeah, even though he's very busy and all that, but he say it's very rewarding because he is staying with the cost of living in Malaysia, which is very low as compared to US, which to him actually the only commitment that is bigger chunk will be his car. He managed to save quite a bit and he managed to use his savings to also invest in more portfolios as well. To me, climbing up a career ladder could also mean that making a smart move. So the new rich is actually horizontal. That means you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of income. Whereas climbing up the ladder is vertical. It means going up.
Yep.
Yeah, but the vertical one will take more time as compared to the horizontal because horizontal can actually be done at the same time. Yeah, it's about how willing you are to sacrifice your time. So, but another way, right, if you want to go on to the left option, which is to go up the corporate ladder, there's actually another way as well if you want to increase your earnings, which I have been encouraging my friends as well, which is do not be fearful in changing a job. Because changing a job could be a turning point not only for your income, but it could be a turning point for your career by way of experience. Today, not only that you want to get a very good pay, of course, I know this is a dream of many people, but you also want to make sure that the job experience is something that you would really enjoy. It's a journey that you will enjoy, right? You know that I also met up with actually had a 50% increment by changing a job. It was just last month. So you would really never expect, you will still think that okay, the economy is bad right now, but I have connections around me who are actually still getting that kind of pay rise after changing job. Yeah, which is very, very possible. So you just need to believe in your own value. So ask yourself this: if today you want to increase your earnings by changing a job, what value could you deliver to the new corporate that you're joining? So what is the experience that you have currently that you can actually bring it over? Yeah, so in case you're talking about the second part here about how you can actually go around to make your sacrifices to hustle around for a new income, you can also go back to our old live that we actually shared before about the passive income myth that was happening in November, or another one which is how to get passive income ideas. We actually share quite a number of ideas there, quite interesting ideas, right? Which is without leaving your 9 to 5 job, you can still actually use all these passive income ideas to help you generate more incomes. And yeah, after you have made your earnings, quite stabilized, okay, you manage to actually do up a saving system every time you get all these paychecks and also your income. Number one rule is always do savings, because no matter how capable you are in earning money today, if you don't even do a single cent of savings, we have to apologize that we have nothing that we can help you about. Yeah, because it is the number one rule before you want to achieve any single passive income. You got to make your money work for you. But saving money alone is just not enough. Yeah, you got to do more than just that. So I strongly suggest that if you want to make yourself out of the rat race as early as possible, if you're young, you can actually make like a higher portion for the higher risk, but without jeopardizing your emergency fund. You may revisit our previous videos to find out how much emergency fund you should save up, which is 6 to 12 months according to our experience, before you could do any kind of investments. So why is investing money the way to get out of rat race? For one of it is because it gives you potentially higher interest rates and the yield as compared to savings. Now, savings, tell me about it. How much interest can you earn out of the savings account these days? Pathetic,
Very
right?
little. Pathetic. I think like 0 point something percent. If you are in Malaysia, you are lucky enough that your saving account pays you. If try to go to countries like Japan or America, you have zero. In US, it's even worse because you're putting your money into the saving account, they're charging you. So
Exactly. So FD, even though you put into FD give you what, like 1%, not even 2, barely even 2. So that's why you have to use investments to help you out. That can not only help you to fight inflation, but can help you to generate income that is very promising. When it comes to higher return, of course, higher risk. Okay, so the common type of investments that you can go find out there is ETF, is property, is investment into a company. Maybe you go into a company by way of a partner, or you just buy their shares like the Bursa, or even to virtual coins, right? A lot of virtual coins on sale, right? So of course, before you do any kind of investments, like we said, there is no free lunch in the world. You always need to do your own research. Like for me, I'm managing the property management, there's actually a lot more constant regular knowledge that we got to actually get, and the market updates, like what is the market currently actually aiming for. Like same thing, if today you want to invest into company, you got to know what the company is doing for their operations. If you apply the rule of 72, your money would double up faster as compared to savings alone. If 4% every single year, it will take you like 24 years for your money to double up. But if you're investing into something that can give you 20% every single year, higher risk, you just need 3 to 4 years to make your money double up. So that's the drastic difference here. What is a symmetrical bet? Now, this is probably the highlight of the night. This is one of the bonus points to help you to get out of the rat race. A symmetrical bet, right, is some bet that potentially can help you to really make a surprise, in the return. It has a limited downside. The effect is probably you lose out that whole chunk of the money, but it potentially can help you to earn a lot more. A symmetrical bet is something that you shouldn't put every single thing into it. So if today you have $100, right, you are not supposed to put $100 into a symmetrical bet because it has a potential of helping you to lose every single thing. So if you have $100, the safest is probably you see like how much you are able to lose every single thing. If it means $20, then you put it inside, but you don't have high hope into it, right? The hope is you could flip things over. So what Warren Buffett did was that he actually put out quite a big percentage, but not all his fortune, into this startup company. It's an insurance company. So he met up with the owner of the company. He finally knew, okay, how the operation works and all that. So he said, okay, I'm interested in your company. I went onto it. So it was somewhere around 1970s, 1980s, very, very early. So Very, very quickly, he actually got back 100%. But he knew how risky it was, because it's a booming business. So very quickly, right, he actually took out his money. But many, many years later, 20 or 30 years later, which is now, he says he regretted for taking out because the value have gone up a few thousand times. Yeah.
Right.
But do you know that time when he actually took out his money from this investment, he gained retirement, he gained his financial freedom at the age of 26 because of this asymmetrical bet? Achieve financial freedom at the age of 26. That is a dream of many. So his earlier wealth, right, was actually gotten from the asymmetrical bet. Yeah, so another example, right, of this asymmetrical bet is from Robert Kiyosaki. I bet that one of the very likable and preferred way for him to flip his fortune around is property, Yvonne. He always talk about it in his
Definitely.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah. He talked about how he actually sometimes he take up loan from his friend to take up a very small deal that could potentially give a very big return. Robert Kiyosaki also makes a lot of asymmetrical bet that eventually, yes, there was a point of time that he got broke, but he got back out very quickly because he know how to play around with his numbers, because he doesn't use all his money into a bet. Yeah, so this is actually to tell every one of us to be also risky. You got to have a risky part in your portfolio in order for you to get out of rat race. So the bet that we're actually talking about these days are probably these kind of bets like startups, companies that have a solid business operation. It's whether you have the confidence to go after or not. Or probably companies that are already established, they are going towards IPO. Yeah, because it is said that 9 out of 10 startups, or probably half of the companies that are going through IPO steps, would fail. So in fact, what we would say is you're gambling. But at least at this point of time, if you're doing this bet, you know that you're gambling with something solid because you know their business, you know how much you're betting, you're not betting every single cent from your account. But when you
That's most
win, right,
important.
wow. And if you're into mining, if you are into coins, right, the virtual coins, again, do not put everything. This is the point whereby, yeah, you can actually segregate your risk appetite into very safe, moderate safe, and super risky. Okay, so number 6, after you have done all this, right, is about taking the baby steps. Now, you could have planned a lot. But what if you don't take any actions? And what if you have planned so much, you want to do everything at one shot? We also don't encourage you because you may be worn out. Getting yourself out of rat race is such a long journey. Okay, it took me quite a bit, a few years to really get out of rat race. It's really not easy because it means that you got to be very, very disciplined. That's why it is very important for you to enjoy the journey. Right? We always encourage this, me and Yvonne, bite-sized effort. So you don't feel disappointed if you don't achieve financial independence because it is not something that you would achieve overnight if you are just starting it out. It's totally different. Some people, they may take like 1 to 2 years because they're super, super duper hardworking. They are very risky. But some people may take 10 years. It is all right because your milestone and my milestone are very different. Yeah, and probably because you need a job security because you have a family, you can't afford to lose. But another person who spent 1 to 2 years to achieve their financial freedom, they have no worries behind them. We are different. So do not compare yourself against the rest because as long as you're happy, you are okay on your own, right? Because nowadays we're talking about your life goal, your happiness, which is more important. So enjoy the journey and always find that even though it's rat race, you will definitely learn a thing out of it. It's about the experience.
Savor the moment.